In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you different chord voicings and different chord formations for chords that are in the key of E. So instead of this regular E up here, I'm going to show you this chord voicing, this formation, an E chord. There's also this different chord formation here for that E chord. So that's what we're going to do in this lesson. Hang tight. All right, so if you saw the previous lesson, I did showing you the chords in the key of E. So we had our E chord, we had our A chord, we had this B chord, we had this C sharp minor chord, and then we had the E over G, and then the F sharp minor. We're gonna be building off that lesson today. So I'll post that lesson I did on those chords up top and in the description below. But yeah, so for this lesson, I just want to show you some different chord voicings. And really when you hear someone say different chord voicings or alternative chord voicings, it's just different formations and different types of ways of doing a chord. So like for this E chord, we can do this E chord this way. We can also do it like as I showed you in the intro to this video. We can do the E chord this way. We can also do an E chord this way. So I'm going to show you some of the non-traditional chord voicings for these chords. So let's start off with the E chord. So we can do some different chord voicings up here and also different chord voicings down here, a little bit higher, well, a little bit lower on the neck. So for this first one, we'll stay up here. So this is gonna be your E. And I don't have a picture of these chords because they're really kind of like non-traditional ones, but really what I'm doing is I have my ring finger or my pinky finger on the G string of the 4th fret. So pinky finger on the 3rd string from the bottom of that 4th fret. And then what you're doing here is you're actually with your pointer finger, you're actually barring. So I never really do the E chord like this, like actually tucking my middle and ring finger in there, but I just want to be able to show you I'm actually barring the A string and the D string on this 2nd fret. So if I took, if we went string by string, it would be this. So that's definitely a little bit more challenging, barring it like that. You know, if you weren't able to get your finger into that position, you could just play it as if you were just muting that D string. It still sounds fine, but I think the end goal would be to be able to bar both of those. So this just kind of gives it a big old, I've seen some people say this is just a big fat E chord, just a big, really rich, chunky E chord. And I do like it for sure. Really full sound. So then if we wanted to do an A chord, instead of doing this A right here, so E, A, we'll stick with that position there, that E chord, and we'll keep our pinky finger on that 3rd string from the bottom, 4th fret, and we're going to put our pointer finger on the D string of the 2nd fret, and those are the only 2 strings you're going to hold down. And for this chord, the bass note is an A, so we don't want to be strumming this top E string when we play the chord. So just kind of mute that with your thumb, just rest your thumb up there. So that's another way to do an A chord, which I like this one too. Really just kind of big and rich and full sound. So A, E, A, E, and just like the song we did in the lesson going over the chords in the key of E, Jesus, we love you. You know, you can do the same thing. All things have passed away. Your love has stayed the same. We're just doing it right here. All things have passed away. Your no, 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 no. Your constant grace remains the cornerstone. So maybe just some very subtle differences in just tone and some of the notes you're hearing there. So let's go to our C sharp minor. So this is our C sharp minor, but we're gonna stick with this formation here. So stay in your A chord, the new A chord, and then all you're gonna do is put your ring finger on the A string, second one from the top on the 4th fret, and then you're gonna play the bottom 5 strings. So that's a C sharp minor. We definitely want to mute that top bass note because we don't want to hear. So A, C sharp minor, E, A, C sharp minor, E. Now we still have our B chord. That's going to be in the same position. There's no change for that one. So really when we use these chord formations, we're all operating in like these within the first 4 frets, and specifically within the frets 2, 3, and 4. So A, E, B, C sharp minor. Yeah, and there's really, you have your E over G right here, so we don't really need to add any new chord formations for that one. The F sharp minor, that's still going to be, you can do it this way or this way, but this is just kind of a nice way to keep everything close and compact and not a whole lot of movement up and down the fretboard. So that's one way you can do it, just different chord voicings hanging out up top up here. If we wanted to play, use some additional chord voicings, we can play, down here on the neck. So this would be an E chord, really nice and bright. So if we wanted to, the easiest way to get to that would just be getting to our A chord here, up here, and sliding it all the way down. Let's see, what is that? 3, 5, 7. So these would be on the 9th fret. So and if you just do that, this is an A chord. We're muting that low E string. So A chord, A chord, A chord, A chord. Kind of cool. So then to do that E chord, all we're doing is putting our pointer finger on the A string of the 7th fret and muting that top string. And actually, really, you don't even need to mute that top string. You can play them all. That's your E chord right there. And then if you wanted to go to that B chord, so instead of this B right here, we're hanging out down here. So just keep these two fingers, the ring and the pinky finger on there, those strings the whole time. And we're just gonna move this pointer finger up to the low E string, move it up one string from the, and that's your B chord. So E, B, and then A, E, B, A. And then this is also, we're gonna keep your A formation here, and then to get to that C sharp minor, if you wanted to, you add that middle finger, which for me, I never play it like this on the acoustic just because it is a far stretch for me. So you gotta get this middle finger on the same fret, covering that low E string. And that would be your C sharp minor voicing down here. So that would be how you can play those chords in the key of E hanging out up here, and you'd really just be operating within the 7th fret, 8th fret, and 9th fret of the neck there. So if you wanted to play Jesus We Love You, you can just do it with these same chords. All things have passed away. You're no, no, no. You do. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So just a nice full sound there. Another song that I think of playing these chords when I hear it is Better Is One Day in Your Court by Matt Redman. How lovely is your dwelling place, oh Lord Almighty. I don't know if it goes to the B there or not, but those just, yeah, it does go to the B. So, how lovely is your dwelling place, oh Lord Almighty. How my soul and even thirst for you. So that's a song you really hear those big bright chords on. And then the last thing I'll go over with these chords here, you can add in this middle finger. So like when we're up here hanging out in the key of G, you see me a lot of times I'll do this. Add something nice, a nice just change of pace and sound to those chords. You can do the same thing with these chords here. So we're going to be using, instead of that pointer finger sliding down, we're going to be using our middle finger. So the middle finger is going to go on the same string. We're on our E chord here. It's going to go on the same string as our pinky, and we're just going to be lifting our pinky on and lifting it off. And you can do that with the E chord, the B chord, the A chord. So I'll show you what that sounds like. do that with a C sharp minor too. I just I'm not on that level. It's just definitely a big stretch for me with small fingers to do that. But you can definitely do it if you want to. It might be easier on the electric too. So that shows you just some different chord voicings, some alternative chord voicings and chord formations and chord shapes for chords that are in the key of E, the E family. So hopefully that helps you out. If you have any questions, definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what's confusing or what you're struggling with. I have chord charts for all the songs and tutorials on my Patreon page, which I'll also link in the description down below. And yeah, hope this helps you out. Love y'all. See you soon.